Within temptation, resist. It's funny putting those two in the same sentence. 10 tracks. 10 tracks for 47 minutes. The seventh studio album from the Dutch symphonic metal band, released February 2019 via Vertigo and Spine Farm. Produced by Daniel Gibson and Matthias Tiken, recorded at ICP Recording Studios and Visalord Studios. 5 singles have been released in The Reckoning, Raise Your Banner, Firelight, In Vain, and Supernova. This album has guest spots from members of Papa Roach, In Flames, and Arid. So far, the album has peaked at number 129 in the US, number 15 in the UK, number 13 here at home, while doing quite well across Europe and Southeast Asia as well. This was also quite the struggle for this band to get out there due to the number of problems behind the scenes. Speaking of problems behind the scenes, Caesar is just...
in front of the scenes.
Yeah, falling through the couch. All right, go for it.
All right, I have an earlier album from these guys, and this is a big departure from that album. It's gone more into a, I don't know, like...
Pop?
Yeah, pop, sort of industrial sort of vibe. It almost sounded like there was a lot of samples being used and not really a lot of guitar and real drums and stuff that they've done on earlier albums. And that was upsetting. Like, I really like this band for the rock element that they had on the earlier albums. I'm still in love with Sharon. I still love her. Sharon! I love you! Yeah, no, she's got an incredible voice.
No, she's got a great
Sexy
voice.
as fuck.
Yeah.
But her voice is just, it just does stuff for me. Makes me feel good. But in these songs, not so good.
Not so good?
It was too much of that teeny bopper element to it. It was
So
just...
this is like a...
It's like a Bring Me the Horizon, or where Bullet for My Valentine have gone in this sort of shitty... I don't know what it is, you know. It's not where I wanted the band to be going. I must admit, I haven't heard all their releases, so I don't know if they've been gearing up to this point.
Oh, they deliberately took a bit of a departure on this one, apparently.
Yeah, well, they deliberately pissed me off with that.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not happy with it. But, look, I think if they went back to just writing good rock songs, that's their forte. This is not it. I found the structures very stop-starty, very staccato, but nothing really flowed. Production, if you like that dirty, fuzzy sound, then that's what you're going to get when you go industrial. I don't like it personally.
Yeah.
You know, I've been an advocate for saying that I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6 out of 10, and that might be even a little bit high, but I'll stick with it.
Yep.
Because I'm nice like that. And
I love Sharon.
And it gets 2 points for Sharon, so it probably should have been a 4. So
resist the temptation to give it a 4.
There we go.
I did. Holy Ground, Mad World, and Mercy Mirror were my standouts.
Yep.
But overall, it's no.
Yeah, they definitely tried to cross the barrier between a pop album and a metal album. This is not an album for a metal fan. This is an album for that person who goes, I like the music, it sounds cool, but it's too harsh. And if you're that person, or you got friends of or you're friends with that person, this is the album to show them as like a, I don't know, kind of a gateway album.
Yeah.
But as a standalone, thing in the context of everything else, and you listen to everything in context of something else, like whether we try to be objective or not, you do. Like for me, it didn't quite do it, but if you are, again, if you are in that crossover realm where you want that poppy element before you get to the proper metal, then this is probably a good album to start with, and that's where I think they're aiming for. And in that regard, they probably hit it. Like, I mean, they're not using the dubstep bass drops for.
No, they're not going that far. But they
did in that. I think it's the opening track or the second track. They used it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not the right.
Yeah, and like you're not using that if you're trying to appeal to the hardcore metal.
No, I'm wondering how many of these songs are even going to make it into the live set.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to use. They'd have to use a backing track or samples or something with that. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out. Endless War was my highlight. You gave it 7.5 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, look, it's not bad.
Mm.
I didn't think it was bad because, like, I mean, I don't mind pop music, but if you want a hard rock album, then this is gonna really piss you off.
Okay, Dave.
Okay. I've been aware of this band for almost as long as I've been aware of Nightwish. But while Nightwish quickly became one of my favourites, I mean, equal to GNR, I haven't heard a song from Within Temptation that's ever grabbed me. So this is my first time listening to an album in full. It's dark, heavy, brooding. The quieter melodies on the opening tracks and The Reckoning was really haunting, and that got stuck in my head. It got off to a good start. And then the second track happened, and it was just very processed, and I just didn't think it needed to go down that road. And it was just a bit of a disappointment. Different vocal styles bring out some diversity to the songs. The harsh male vocals were cool, and they work good with the melodic female vocals. It suits the various moods of the music, and there's a huge emotional spectrum that they're exploring. And while that could be similar to Nightwish, there's some emotional content in the lyrics. It just doesn't grab me in the same way Nightwish does. It's not to say it won't for other people, because I'm sure what Within Temptation they do well, and people will like it, but it just didn't grab me. I am happy to take recommendations on earlier albums to hear what, because I know this album sounds a bit different to what else they've done,
Yeah.
so if you want to hook me up with some other stuff, I'll give it, but yeah, like you said, it's not bad, it's just, yeah. I gave it 8 out of 10 strictly because it's listenable, it's good.
It's pedestrian, man.
It's good for what
That's
it
a
is.
good word.
Not pushing any boundaries.
I'm sure fans of the band might like it, new people
I
exploring
don't think many
might
of the
like
existing fan base
No.
like this
Yeah?
one.
No, I couldn't
Good.
see it.
it. Alienate people. Okay.
Yeah.
I like The Reckoning. That was a pretty cool song.
Right.
Well, because of the audience polling on social media about, you know, what they want to see, there are a few people out there that were keen for this, and after listening to it, I'm going to be really curious to see if this meets what the fans were expecting out of this release. For mine, this isn't much of a symphonic metal album.
That disappointed me.
The performances are solid. The vocals are certainly the highlight in that regard. The guest spots fill their roles. It's hard to get a read on much else because it's very, very digitized, very tight, very snapped to the grid. The focus on this one was on the vocals, the drums, and the synth work. People won't like me saying this, but it feels like heavy pop music. Like, that's what I would put it as.
Yeah.
The guitars are merely pushed back to fill a sound wall out. There are some lead breaks here and there, but not much. It's more about rhythm and melody. The synth elements, they sort of play their role within the space when it comes to the writing. The heaviness really sort of comes from maybe what you were talking about with the beat changing and things like that, but also with things like the almost industrialized moments and the effects coming through.
It was too much of that. Fuck.
Yeah. Lyrically, it's deep. There's a fair bit to say in this and some intensity. I like how Sharon Denadell delivers her lyrics with emotion. So I think she's got that better than a lot of the vocalists in this genre. She can really convince you of what she's talking about. There's a vulnerable strength to a performance, and lyrics are the highlight on this record for mine. The production has been polished to the fucking nth degree. If you don't like polished releases, don't go anywhere near this. The incredibly odd thing about that was it sounded better through my fucking AirPods than it did through my proper setup at my desk. That confused the shit out of me. I don't like people mixing for headphones. Don't do it. It's incredibly dense. Not a lot of space here except for the stripped back moments. Everything is captured okay, but they just went too hard at the sound wall and they made it big.
Yeah.
I get why. I do understand it because it's the whole radio pop influence coming into it, but fuck, too much. Not a lot of dynamics, which is a consequence of that. This only sort of goes from loud to louder, then back to loud again. The pop influence on this is in the layering and the sonic representation. It was too much. It also impacted the way this flowed, and it felt longer than the 47 minutes it goes for. It felt like a long listen.
Because there was a lot
47
of
minutes.
stop-start shit in
It's
it.
a long listen. I thought this one dragged.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't put us through the paces of going through. There's an extended edition of this which goes for much, much longer.
Oh.
Okay, well, you can go and do it in your own time. I'm not doing it. The band said they'd taken pop music as an inspiration while giving it a dark and metal-oriented treatment, as they felt modern music hadn't been edgy or daring in recent years. And that's pretty much a quote.
Let's consider that
Edgy.
that they took a metal band took as an influence
To make it
edgier.
Yeah. Oxymoron much. I appreciate the sentiment and also the band wanting to switch things up. I'm usually in favour of that sort of stuff, but this went too far. It leaves me wondering what's next, because as far as the band may not have expected to get commercial pop radio play out of this, there's actually some stuff on this that is perfect for pop radio. My review is going to piss off hardcore fans most likely, and I look forward to seeing what we can do to bring out of the mail on this one. It's just strictly only for hardcore fans. I get the crossover appeal, but I think it's flimsy at best.
It could piss off hardcore fans as well.
Yeah, I reckon.
like
I've got an earlier album, and I was looking forward to hearing something newer, and this wasn't where I was.
it sounded almost as if they were bored of being a band. So they just changed it up for the fuck of it.
Well, the perfect title for it, The Reckoning, they fucked it.
Yeah.
So they fucked their own sound.
But the thing is, I think this could also appeal to fans of what certain moments of Linkin Park's career. There's a crossover of that.
Yeah.
I won't be going back to it. It didn't do much for me. Aside from the vocal performance and some of the more riffy moments, of which there are only a few, this was a pretty painful listen overall for me. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Woo!
Yep. Raise Your Banner and Trophy Hunter were the only 2 songs that I even remotely liked. So check it out for yourselves. Give us your thoughts. We'll use them in the mail.
The more hate, the better.
Yeah, it's more entertaining that way.
Just got the hate instead of the mail.
Gathering of Kings. What a wanky title for a band.
Well, it makes sense when you know the background of it.
Well, what's the background?
They're all from Greece.
No. This is Sparta. No. The whole thing about Within Temptation, though, before I forget, was now you're talking about how she, like, this is a cheap imitation or whatever. So it was kind of like the metal fans, and what you get. It's just like going to get a Playboy and getting the coldest fucking lingerie version of it. Like,
W catalogue.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
A lot of sexy women, they're not nude.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, what's your point?
Yeah, not much point there. Gathering of Kings is... You'll get it when I read the description, but it's all a bunch of...
Supergroup.
It's a supergroup. It's all guys from...
That's why I thought it was wanky as well.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Look how great our other bands are.